You know, we got to start it off right with some good music. Even though the moon is in Gemini right now, let's get some Taurian vibes in here. Let's just chill and relax for a moment. Before I get into the actual reading portion, I am going to go over the full moon just quickly as like a general, and then I'm going to get into the personal readings. What's up, Say Good Vibes? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. I just got the notification on my PayPal. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I really do. 11/17, that's my birthday. So I was like, oh, we're going to start off like that, are we? That's awesome. I'm going to start off like that. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully we get some people in here, like I said. Got some music going. Got the candle in the background. We got Squirtle up here. I had my sage going earlier. Let's see if I can light it a little bit more. I also had some Palo Santo as well that I used. Got to clear the space, make sure everything is good, you know? See, I don't know the proper way of actually burning sage. I know you're supposed to do something like this, right? I think that's what you're supposed to do, but you know, it's all good. Yes, excited. Let's see if we can get a few more people to hop on here. In the meantime, I'm going to just go ahead and draw a card for the general collective. The Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. Card of Perception. The card of perception. The frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. Moving out of our comfort zone. Taurus doesn't like to move outside of their comfort zone. That is one for sure thing about Taurus. It's one of the most stubborn signs. And yet, we get a card speaking about moving outside of our comfort zone, expanding our knowledge through our curiosity, taking that leap of faith, and expanding upon our experience. What a beautiful card to start this off with. How's everyone's day been? How's y'all's day been? I've had a pretty good day today. Kind of low key, but it was a nice day. It was just a nice, different kind of day, you know. Turn this down a bit. But yeah, I went to so I'm doing the NaNoWriMo challenge, which I need to make a video updating you guys on that. But I went to this write-in. So essentially you meet up with other people who are also doing the writing challenge in your local area. And it's mostly just chatting and talking, and then you do a little bit of writing. You don't do like we did like one 15-minute writing sprint and one 20-minute writing sprint. But I was there for a couple of hours, so we mostly talked. But you know what was crazy about this guy? So check it out, right? Check this out. Tell me how the person who organized this particular write-in in my local region has the same birthday as me. We're in here, Scorpios. We are in here. The same birthday as me, though? Like, yeah, there's only 365 days in the year, 366 days on leap years. So you'd think that you would meet someone with your birthday a lot more frequently, but you don't. And today I just happened to meet someone who shares the same birthday with me. She's doing the NaNoWriMo challenge as well. Not only that, but she showed me like several of her tarot card decks. Because she asked me what else did I do, whatever, because we're all talking about what we do outside of, you know, writing and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I also make YouTube videos. And she was like, about what? I'm like, astrology. And she was like, really? She got really interested. And then she reached into her bag and started pulling out tarot card decks. And I was like, yo, what's good with it? What is good with it? I got a chance to glance at her chart too. She was a Aquarius moon, Libra rising. Honestly, I couldn't remember everything else. I think I was just so excited. And then this other dude there, he wasn't doing the writing challenge, but he was the boyfriend of the person who shares my birthday, and he was playing Pokemon on his 3DS. So I'm just like, I feel at home. I feel so at home. The other person, she was really cool too. She had a couple of kids. She actually plays in a local symphony orchestra, which is really cool. Me and my wife, we have been to the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra a couple of times, and it's really cool. So I might have to check out the local scene. But it was really cool. I did that, and then I went to go see my dad for a little bit because he was on this side of town. He happened to be on this side of town. Then I came home and kind of chilled around. It was kind of a low-key day, but it was nice. It was nice. But thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you to those who do purchase and donate. This is an experiment, and I definitely hope to be doing more of these. I don't know if I'm going to do these every lunar, like major lunar cycle. I might just do these for the full moons. I don't know if I'll do them for the new moons, but I'm thinking I'll probably do these for each of the full moons. So, but then I may also just do random live readings at some point in the future. But this is a bit of an experiment. This is my birthday week. It really has felt like a birthday week. It really has. I never really understood that whole thing where people's like, it's my birthday week. And I'm like, I never really got that, but the way that this week has been set up, my wife is amazing. She's the real MVP. I've gotten a gift like every day this week. Like she's got me like little gifts here and there. Some of the gifts are really nice, but she's got me like gifts for every day of the week. So it really has been like a birthday week. It's really cool. But yeah, my son in Gemini, Virgo moon, and Scorpio rising. Oh yes, thank you so much. I need to, I'm gonna go ahead and like write that down actually. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Oh, by the way, what degree is your sun, if you don't mind me asking? Because the moon is actually in Gemini right now. So Sun Gemini, Virgo moon, Scorpio rising. Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely gonna help out with this. Okay, cool. Because actually, as of right now, the moon, I'm going to show you guys in a second. We actually have a yod going on right now, guys. We actually have a yod going on right now. We have the moon at 22 degrees of Gemini. We have the sun at 22 degrees of Scorpio. And we have Pluto at 21 degrees of Capricorn. So the sun and Pluto are making a quincunx over to the moon right now, which is creating a yod, which is something called the finger of God. And it's kind of like this one, it's like this moment where God is like, hey, yo, pay attention. That's kind of the way that I see a yod as. Because quincunxes, they are, as I call it, the awkward stare from across the room, but you're getting it from two different sides, and it's focused on one particular thing. So it's weird. It's like we kind of can feel like, well, I can go this way. It's almost like it's going to be kind of a weird way to put it, because quincunxes aren't inherently bad, but it's sort of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of scenario. We can create such a scenario in our head of it can go crazy one way, but it can also go crazy another way. So you might as well just go with where your heart feels best. And if you happen to have a point, if you have to have a planet that's opposing, wherever the two quincunxes are pointing to, which I'll show you in a second, and that kind of gives you kind of an idea of where your focus is anyways. And, like I said, I'm going to show you guys this in a second, but then I'll also show you the charts for the full moon, the new moon that we had in Taurus that's manifesting off of this. And then after that, we're going to get into the live readings. So, but yes. Yes, we got to write you up in the house. That's right. Sun at 19 degrees. Shut up. Really? Is it really? My wife, her ascendant is 19 degrees Gemini. Yo, that is legit. That is legit. No way. Alrighty. So let me go ahead and show you guys the chart real fast, just for what's going on right now, because I think this is interesting. And I think even though I'm making this video a couple days after the full moon, I think there's a reason why it's happening right now, because with this moon being at 22 degrees at the start of this broadcast, it is a breakdown, breakthrough kind of energy. So this reading that you're going to receive here is really meant to kind of break down your current perception. Is meant to break down your current perception, but also break you through to a whole new understanding and a whole new understanding of your current situation and how you can really progress on this journey. So the fact that we're making it right now is very key. It's very super important. Just because the moon is in Gemini doesn't mean that we're not feeling the effects of the full moon still. So, but let me go ahead and share the charts with you guys. All right. So as you can see, we have the moon here at 22 degrees of Gemini, making this sexy quincunx over to the sun at 22 degrees of Scorpio. And as you can see, we do have Pluto here at 21 degrees of Capricorn. It's not at 22 degrees, but what's interesting, it's, the sun is involved, the moon's involved, so it's within a degree orb. And that's what's really important about this. So as you can see, both of these energies are making this quincunx over to the moon in Gemini. Now, what is the moon in Gemini? Let me turn this down just a tad. The moon in Gemini, the moon represents our reactions, our emotions, our subconscious, even our dream states, how we react and respond to things. And this is in Gemini. So right now we are reacting and responding to our curiosities. We are reacting and responding to that which is in our, our neighborhood, the people around us, communication, and the mind. So these quincunxes that we are experiencing with the sun quincunxing the moon, this is about, the gifts. The sun is our gifts, it's our radiance, it's our light, the light that we have to give through this Scorpio energy, which is of course this deep quality, these deeper waters. But being here in the later degrees of Scorpio, this is really one of the more transformative states of Scorpio, because you got to think the first 10 degrees of Scorpio, those are sort of the degrees where you are really diving into yourself. The second 10 degrees of Scorpio is when you're kind of exploring, you're exploring the tombs of your soul and the catacombs. You're exploring it. The first 10 degrees, you're just diving in there. You're just like going for it, Second 10 degrees, you're really exploring this space. The last 10 degrees is where you emotionally transmute these energies and you transform. So there's a transmutational energy that's going on with the sun being in Scorpio. The reason why it's transformative is because, Scorpio, it's fixed water, but it's getting closer to that Sagittarius energy. It's feeling the pull of Sagittarius more than it is feeling the pull of Libra. So there in Sagittarius is what? Mutable fire. So there is this natural alchemical nature to the last 10 degrees of Scorpio due to its proximity to Sagittarius. So now we are reacting and responding to people in our direct and local environment, in our neighborhood, to our own thoughts. And we're really seeing, how does this mesh, or what is maybe even awkward about these situations, and how it relates to transforming emotionally. So you could have probably found yourself over the last day or so in conversations that were quite challenging your ability to not react to certain things that people say in a way that exposes a sort of, I'm trying to really put the words on it, that exposes this sort of unconscious hyper reaction. And you know, no one's perfect, and we all get quote unquote triggered. But this quincunx was certainly a testing point of our triggers with things that people could say. And you got to remember that this is Gemini. So, and Geminis can be serious, but really you shouldn't take this so seriously. But there are things that people could have said over the past day and a half or so that could really challenge you, and you're like, it's wanting, the things that they're saying are things that are meant to kind of bring you out of your comfort zone and to kind of bring you out of your bubble. But it could be difficult. Not only that, but we have Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, which the moon quincunx as well, before this current quincunx that we're at the moment, at 14 degrees retrograde. So we're already in a state where our minds aren't exact, they're not really online. It's like we're thinking differently anyways right now. So that can actually help. That can actually help us to decipher, you know, what people are saying and how we really should react and respond to things. Then of course you have Pluto here in Capricorn, which is all about, you know, breaking down these barriers and these structures that we have built up in our life. And then you have the moon here, so in Gemini, making the quincunx over there. So there's this interesting relationship between, you know, the sun sextiling Pluto, but both of these energies quincunxing over to the moon, because what it's saying here is that, you know, Pluto, like I said, it's about breakdown, it's about transformation, death, and rebirth. But it's about, you know, there are certain structures in your life that probably do need to undergo some sort of transformation. And you have probably have heard, you know, people say to you, or maybe the universe has communicated to you, maybe it's not necessarily through a person, but through a situation of what needs to be transformed. But there can be some stubbornness to wanting to do that. But the sextile is here, which means that there is an opportunity for you to build something even greater. There's an opportunity for you to build something even greater. Now, this is just pertaining to today, and the reason why you're even joining is because you want to manifest something greater in your life. You want to, you know, that there's some sort of breakdown going on, but you're being open with yourself, you're being vulnerable, and you're putting yourself out there, just as I'm putting myself out there, and you're allowing this experience to unfold because there is something much greater for you. Now let's go back to that full moon that occurred in Taurus, which was, I think it was around 19 degrees or so. Okay, so here we go. Here was the full moon in Taurus that occurred at 19 degrees of 19 degrees of Taurus. The sun here at 19 degrees, having already conjuncted Mercury, which is now at 17 degrees. And as you can see, these energies are coming off of Mercury's moved towards it, the sextile to Saturn, but the moon also trining these energies. In fact, it's trining pretty much the midpoint between this Saturn and Pluto. This full moon at 19 degrees, 1 plus 9, you know, equals 10, which reduces back to 1. Anything, honestly, anything in front of a 9 is going to reduce back to that number. So with this reducing back to 1, there's certainly a focus on the self, and individuality, and personality. But with it being a 10, that is also an interesting completion point, because it is the 1 and the 0. It is the 1 in many ways being born of the 0. And this is very interesting because this is about manifestation. 10 is about manifestation, and 10 is a number that definitely relates to the Taurus vibe. So there was a great birth that happened on this day, early in the morning, at least Eastern Standard Time, on November 12th, with this full moon. Very powerful. I'm sure many of you felt it. And the thing about Taurus is that it shakes you deep. It's interesting compared to some of the other full moons, because some of the other full moons, you can certainly feel it. Like, you definitely will feel a full moon in Cancer. You would definitely feel like a full moon in Pisces and stuff. Even though Pisces is more subtle, it's water. You'll feel some of these other full moons, like it's in fire or something like that. Usually air moons and earth moons, you don't really feel as much. But with Taurus, being that it really is representative of Gaia energy and the earth, this was earth-shaking realizations. This is an earth shake, not an earthquake. It's an earth shake. If you know, you know. This was an earth shake, not an earthquake. But this was a very powerful moment of great breakthrough. And this full moon is a manifestation of 6 months prior of the new moon in Taurus that occurred. So if we go back and look at the new moon, you'll see some interesting stuff that happens here. So go back and the new moon, Taurus, take back a day, take back a day, take back a day, take back another day. Let's move forward a few hours. So on May the 4th, may the 4th be with you, right? May the 4th be with you. We had the new moon in Taurus at 14 degrees. So it was off by about 5 degrees. It's a 5-degree orb from this full moon that we have, which means that we literally have taken, if you really think about it, from this new moon at 14 degrees, we have taken what? 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 19. So we have actually taken 4 steps. We have taken 4 full steps, and then we came into the 19. And what's interesting about this stuff, once again, 4 comes up. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's where the sun and moon are right now. And 4 is breakdown, breakthrough. Chiron is also at 4 degrees. So we have 4 here. We have 4 energy here. We have 4 energy here. Look at where Mars is right now. Mars is actually where the moon is today. That's where Mars was. So if you came to this live stream, it is most certainly fated. You were supposed to be here. You were absolutely supposed to be here. But as you can see now, Mercury was over here in Aries. Venus was over here in Aries. Uranus, of course, was in Taurus at 3 degrees. But all the energies are pretty much on this side of the zodiac. And as you can see, Mars is leading the charge. This was when Mars was in front of all of the personal planets, right? This is also coming to the point where Mars was beginning to oppose Jupiter retrograde. Now that Mars is over here in Libra and has sextile this energy, we have gone from this sort of opposition energy where Mars and Gemini, there definitely can be some warring thought patterns that we have had as compared to, you know, what do we really believe in? What do we believe our journey entails? Jupiter, of course, being close to the galactic center point at this time, you know, this is also like, are we going to war with certain beliefs? Are we going to war with this sort of idea of, you know, it's almost sort of like, and this is actually kind of interesting. I'm kind of writing a story about it, where it's like someone can tell you, you know, you are this and you are these things, and you can be like, no, I'm not that. I'm this instead. That's what it can kind of feel like. There's this energy where it's like your guides have been telling you, you know, you are this magical, creative magician being, and you have this great purpose, and you can be like, I don't know if I really am that, you know. But this was a new moon. This was a new seed. This was quiet. New moons are quiet, okay? But with this Mars opposed Jupiter, this was probably one of the louder new moons that we've had of the year, just because Mars was in Gemini, which Mars in Gemini is a very explosive, fiery energy all over the place, wants to try a little bit of everything, very curious. But then that opposing over to Jupiter is sort of like there was a sort of destiny quality that we were beginning to come into, but Jupiter was retrograde. It wasn't going forward. Jupiter was retrograde. So it's like it's almost like we were being told, like in my story, my main character is a king from another realm, but he doesn't remember it. And he has had this person come to him in a story and told him that he was a king. And at first he was resistant to it. So in your life, you have been informed that you are a king, you are a queen, you are an emperor, you are an empress, you are a high priest, you are a magician. But at the time of this new moon, you were probably resistant to the idea of it, probably because Mars, King Kunks in this energy, of course, you know, this King Kunks that we have with Mars, you were resistant to the idea of it because you felt like it was too much responsibility, right? You feel like that's too much responsibility for someone like me to take on, to be a king or a queen or to have this sort of status. you weren't really focused on this area. You were more so focused in these realms. You know, Venus was in Aries, Mercury was in Aries. Now, as we can see, look where things are. Mars is in Libra. Libra is about, in many ways, the people and diplomacy and stuff. And then you have Venus in Sagittarius, which is definitely giving off this sort of like visionary quality and really looking into ourselves for these answers. So you are most certainly ready, beloved. You are most certainly ready. This new moon and this full moon that manifested as a result of it is definitely going to shake up your life in a powerful way. And I'm just really glad to, of course, be spending this time with you all and sharing this space. So without further ado, we're going to get into the actual reading portion of this. So, okay. Okay, so let's see. Let me check to see the PayPal stuff. So I want to just make sure that I get everyone. It's a first come, first serve type deal. So I want to make sure I get everyone. So say good vibes. You're going to be first. And then let's see. We got my boy Vasuki. And I should know your stuff by now. I know it's Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Rising. Was Scorpio Rising or Scorpio Moon? It's Leo Rising. It's one of those. You got to remind me, dude. Vasuki, you got to remind me. I'm sorry. Is it Scorpio Moon and Leo Rising, or is it the other way around? Because I felt like I should know this. As much as we talk and stuff. Oh man. Okay. Let's see if I can get this. I want to say it's Scorpio Moon, right? Leo Rising. I feel like that's it. Scorpio Moon, 18 degrees. That's what it is. That's what it is. Cool. I got it. And Mystical Illuminations, thank you so much, bro. I really do appreciate the support. I really do. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. So right now we have 3 going on. Just want to make sure I got everything right so I can get these in order. So Gemini Sun, Taurus Rising, Cap Moon. And we'll go from there. The Peace Dealer in the house. Thank you so much for joining, man. I really do appreciate your support and stuff. Hopefully we can get on another collaboration soon. I see you've been doing some collabs lately and stuff. And yeah, I'm just I haven't been as active on my channel as I would like. I've been doing the podcast, but there are other videos I want to make. But boy, admittedly, it's kind of lazy. I don't know if it's just my second house is getting pounded with all this Capricorn energy, but that's just me making excuses, right? I'm just making excuses, so I shouldn't be doing that. But in any event, we're going to get into the live portion of this reading. So, so essentially, for those who have donated the $10, I'm going to be drawing cards for you all. So I'm going to draw. Let's see, what did I say on the thing? I know I said it was like a certain. It was either 3 cards or 5 cards. I know those 2 extra oracle cards. Oh, and then the $10 one, I said that was going to be a surprise, and I'll tell you guys a surprise in just a moment. I just got to make sure that I have everything good to go. Let me do that real fast so y'all don't hear the playback. Let me look at 3 tarot cards, 2 oracle cards. I'm actually going to throw an extra oracle card for anyone who donates $10. That's not the mystery gift, by the way. I'm just going to throw in an extra oracle card. So three tarot cards, 3 oracle cards talking about how this full moon is affecting you. And of course, I have your sun, moon, and rising here, which gives me even more information. And then for those who do donate $10 or more, then there's going to be a mystery gift. So let's hop right into it. I'm excited. It was super effective. The Peace Dealer uses Hyper Beam. It was super effective. Astro Phoenix uses excuses. It blocks me. Oh, excuses aren't. I'm actually running out of time to use excuses. Like Saturn and Pluto ain't playing. Like they're like, are you? Because I've been getting sign after sign after sign after sign, and it's like, are you going to listen? Hello. So, anyways, let's get into this. We're gonna start off with Say Good Vibes. Thank you so much for joining. I know you've been following the channel for a while. You've been one of my biggest supporters. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sun in Gemini, Virgo moon, and Scorpio rising. All right. So this full moon. Ooh, interesting. So Scorpio rising. So this will put this full moon is actually in your 7th house. I guess it could be either your 7th house or your 6th house based off of the degree of your rising. I don't know if you put the degree of your rising in the comments, but let's see. I know you say your sun in Gemini is at 19 degrees. So that's very interesting. So that's another whole thing. To have a full moon on your sun anyways means that your spirit went through an earth shake. Like your spirit, like your sun in many ways can be represented by like your spirit, and like I said, the gifts and the radiance and the light that you give to this world. But to have the full moon on top of your sun, first of all, and I'm going to assume that's in your 7th house, yes. So your whole relationship with yourself primarily went through a major shift. And this is going to be the shift of a lifetime. It's going to last a lifetime. First of all, that shift, which is amazing. That's incredible in and of itself. And being in the 7th house, there's definitely a lot of shakeup in the foundations of your relationships. But this is going to be based off of the relationship that you have and have established with yourself. So you definitely felt this full moon probably deeper than most people. And considering the fact that you are Scorpio rising anyways, sorry, 7 degrees. Okay, yeah. So 7 degrees is your rising, correct? Is that what you're saying? Seven degrees Gemini. Okay. 7 degrees, excuse me, 7 degrees Scorpio. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this full moon was in your 7th house. Like I said, being on top of your sun, your spirit was definitely shaken. And what's interesting is that it's meant to be a sort of a grounding energy. The moons in Taurus, even if it's a full moon, and full moons usually are like when the lunatics come out. But for you, it's like your soul was like knocking on your chest, like, hello, are you gonna let me out yet? Just like that's pretty much what you were experiencing. Not only that, but your Virgo moon, being that you are an Earth moon, really actually helped, because the Virgo moon was allowing you to kind of emotionally compartmentalize what was coming up within your spirit and your soul. And in this case, compartmentalizing and organizing isn't bad, because I mean, it allowed you to experience the emotions, you know, when you needed to. You experienced them as they came up, but you weren't necessarily getting lost in them. You know, the Virgo moon allows you to not necessarily get lost in them, but it allows you to kind of, you know, Virgo moon, it kind of compartmentalizes and organizes their emotions, and it stores it away into a file, but then they'll go back over the file and bring it back up. So, you know, that's the interesting thing about this, and you will probably experience this next week when the moon does go into Virgo. You're going to start to feel a lot of these emotions again from that full moon in Taurus that you compartmentalized, and it's going to come back up for you to analyze and to decipher and to go over. So very interesting. But let's get 3 cards for you, and then I'll get some oracle cards, and then I'll tell you what the mystery gift is too, which I'm excited about. I literally thought about the mystery gift like an hour ago. So, okay. All right. All right, so this first card is in many ways is going to represent the new moon in Taurus. The second card is going to represent this full moon in Taurus, and this third card is going to represent the outcome. So for that new moon that we had in Taurus earlier in the year on May the Force be with you, we have the card of Judgment. We have the card of Judgment. I'm going to go ahead and get the other cards out here too. We also have, remember how I was talking about relationships? With the full moon in your 7th house, you get the 2 of Cups. Outcome. Ooh, we got the Knight of Cups. We got the Knight of Cups. Okay. All right. Okay. If you're not already in a relationship, I don't know if you are. If you're already in a relationship, but here's the thing. Spirit Pokemon instead of spirit animal. The Judgment card. You are definitely being called forward. And I believe that your partner, whether it be a soulmate or a twin flame, or if you already have one, I'm not sure exactly. Maybe if you want to clarify, you can. But you are married. Excellent, excellent. Your partner, their spirit was calling out to you during that new moon. And it's interesting that you get the Judgment card. So their spirit was calling out to you, and I'm not detecting that there's anything necessarily wrong in your relationship or anything like that. But I think that his spirit recognized something within your spirit, and it almost relayed this message to your spirit to relay back to you that, you know, there needs to be some sort of shift and change that's going to bring you closer. Like I said, I'm not detecting that anything is inherently wrong or bad, but there is, since this full moon especially happened on top of your sun, it's almost like their spirit knew that you're about to go through this major shift, this spirit shake, essentially. I like to almost frame it as, where literally with the full moon being on top of your sun, literally pulling out your spirit in like the greatest way. Your aura on the full moon was probably massive. It was probably massive, but because of your aura being so massive, you're going to be able to law of attract into your life over these next 6 months incredible opportunities to connect with other people, because that full moon being right on top of your sun, it literally pulls it out. I'm literally seeing like an individual and their aura like flaring so far out. I'm talking like miles wide, like a mile, like think of like an orb around you that's like a mile, like in like circumference, diameter, or whatever like that. It's a giant aura, and there are going to be people that pick up on it. There are going to be people's spirits that pick up on this energy. So it could be your husband in some capacity. I think it's probably more so people just within your soul tribe and people that you're meaning to connect with. Because the 2 of Cups, it can be romantic. It can be. I am sensing that there's going to be a greater connection between you and your husband, but I'm also sensing that over the next 6 months, you're going to be connecting to other people's souls in a deeper way, because like I said, that full moon, it like your aura may have had a particular frame normally, but the full moon blew out your aura so wide and so massive that it's going to allow you to, like, beings notice. They're like, oh crap, look at Sig's vibe right there. Your Sig good vibes. Like, your vibe was like huge. They're like, yo, look at Sig's vibes. Holy crap, what's going on? It's like you went Super Saiyan times 20. Like, that's pretty much what this full moon was for you. And people are going to notice. It's sort of like if you were to look out from space, you would look down and you would see like a shining light. Yes, his grandfather just passed. Oh, wow. My condolences. My condolences. So perhaps his grandfather was assisting from the other side in your development, and there's definitely something going on with the judgment card. You have the angel in the clouds. A lot of times people like to speak of judgment day or whatever like that, and when you go before God and you're being judged and stuff like that. But there is certainly this energy where it's almost like there's a sort of mantle that only you can carry. There's a sort of mantle that's being handed off to you, and your spirit took upon that mantle in a sense, and now it just flared out your energy. But we get the Knight of Cups as the resulting card. So this can be a person. This could be a water sign. This could be Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces, or someone who has water energy. The Knight of Cups, I like to think of this as the hopeless romantic card. This is the individual that goes for the Holy Grail. This is the individual that falls in love so easily. And I feel like this card right here, this could potentially be a person that may fall in love with your energy. I don't think it has to be romantic. I mean, you're married, so be careful about that, obviously, but I'm just being real with you. But the Knight of Cups is going to be an individual that you're going to meet over the next 6 months that's going to fall in love with your energy, almost smitten, because it's going to be like your aura is going to be so massive and so huge, it's going to be almost warming and comforting for them. So there can be this potential where this person, I think they have good intentions. There may be a potential for them to kind of almost latch on in a sense, and you don't want to develop you don't want them to develop this sort of codependent relationship with you, because that would be dangerous. You don't want that. But this is definitely going to be an individual that's going to be very, very inspired by you. Very, very inspired by who you are, your works, your caring personality. Sun in Gemini, so you're naturally very inquisitive. Virgo moon, you're able to really meticulously articulate your emotions. And the Scorpio rising, you're already very magnetic. Scorpio rising, you're already very magnetic, because rising is like what? That's your personality. Your aura just blasted out, and there are people that noticed it. Whether they're conscious of it or not, they noticed it. But when they come into contact with you, it could be in the grocery store, it can be at work, it can be wherever. They're just going to be attracted to your energy and to your aura. And it's going to be like, yo, we're supposed to be connecting. So pretty awesome. My husband's a Pisces. There you go. Gemini, Pisces, I've been noticing a lot of the relationships I've been noticing lately have been between squaring energies. It's interesting. I've been noticing that a lot. Of course, I'm Scorpio. My wife, she's Aquarius. The write-in that I went to earlier, one of the people, she was an Aquarius. Her husband's a Scorpio. My brother, he's Capricorn. His wife, Libra. I've noticed with a lot of relationships and these marriages, it's a lot of squaring energy. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think squaring energy actually helps. I think it's probably one of the most beneficial connections as far as growth and development. And if you can get past some of the stubbornness to kind of go outside your comfort zone, I think it's probably one of the most rewarding experiences you can have. Now, I say that, I haven't been with too many people. I'm just saying that just through my intuition. So, but, perhaps it is going to be your husband that's going to notice a change in your aura and a change in your spirit. And it's almost going to be like he's going to become like smitten with you. And it's going to that's that Two of Cups vibe. So, very interesting energy. Let's get some oracle cards here. So I have the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle, and then I have the Answer is Simple Oracle. I'm going to draw 3 of these cards. So one card just flew out. One card just flew out. Okay. I'm not going to really shuffle this deck. All right, so it's going to be kind of the same process. The first two cards is going to represent the new moon, full moon. This last card is going to represent the outcome. I'm making the outcome card. The answer is simple because oftentimes the answer is simple, but we like to complicate things. So your first card, sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just interesting how this works. Transition. Transition. There is definitely something going on with his grandfather passing. There's definitely something going on. He's been in contact with you. Maybe he's been through dream states and stuff. If your husband's a Pisces, there's definitely something going on with there. But we have the card of transition here. This was for the new moon that happened, which is funny because new moons usually signal beginnings. But beginnings are a transition because we're starting to develop a new system, a new way of being. So it is a transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. The number is 43, which reduces to 7, which is the number of spirit. It is the number of Neptune and Pisces energy. That was for the new moon. For the full moon, we have the card of passion. The number is also 7. 3 plus 4 equals 7. We got 2 7s. You see how that works out? You see how that works out? The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from the chaos to the calm, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. This is what I was talking about with this judgment card, kind of synchronizing with the transition card. And you think about judgment as far as like, they say when you die, you go to heaven, you stand before God and you're judged, but then you transition to the next life. And then you have passion here. So that's literally my middle name, Passion. And that's the middle card. That's the middle card. Yo, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. I had to grab my staff for that one. Let's go. I knew it was the reason why I did this today. Your passion is being ignited. The answer is simple. I can't make this up. Listen to the music. You see that number right there? 19. That's where this full moon was. It was at 19 degrees. That's where your sun is. 19 degrees. Listen to the music. Listen to your soul. Listen to your spirit. I don't really need to say anything else, honestly. Like, what a way to start this off. Like, I don't really need to say anything else. Like, you have the answers. But this is just so amazing. This is, I'm telling you, like, your aura just, like, blasted out. And now it's like, you're like almost inundated with all of this passion and stuff. You know what I love about this passion card? So you see all these reds and oranges and stuff, but then you have like this blue ocean, but then beneath that ocean, there's like a core. So it's really interesting. This card really does represent this sort of deep Mars-like passion of Scorpio, where it's like you have to go past all of this surface, but then you get to like this intense ocean that's vibrant and deep, but then there's the star right there. You are a star. Listen to the music. You got 7. You got 7 as far as the numbers that it reduces to. You got to listen to the music. Like, that is amazing. For the mystery gift, I'm actually going to do an automatic writing. So, Sig, if you would please just, I don't know if I have my email in the description yet, but I will, after this, refresh it. Or if you have me on Instagram. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a page-long automatic writing message for you for this whole process in this full moon. So if you just email me and stuff like that, or I'll write it out and then I'll get with you. And then if you just give me your email, and then I'll email your automatic writing to you. So if you do purchase the $10 portion, I'm going to do an automatic writing where I just sit down and just like straight from spirit, and I will send that to you. So that's going to conclude your reading. I hope that you appreciate it. Thank you so much for allowing me to tap into these energies. This is fun. I really enjoy this, and I'm like, man, if they're all gonna be like this, man, like, like that's intense. Like it can't get like so many synchronicities in there. Like that's insane. It really is. That is insane. I was definitely not expecting that. You're very, very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. All right. So, whew, all right. I'm going to just take a couple of deep breaths after that one. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So now we are moving on to Basuki, formerly known as Spells Inc., my boy, my partner in crime, my brother. I'm about to come visit you one of these days. I really am going to have to come visit you one of these days. Here comes trouble. I know, right? You know these cards are about to be savage, right? These cards are about to be savage with you. Oh, because we already talked about all this sort of stuff, and we're like, I'm telling you guys, this guy right here, Basuki, he is my accountability partner. Like, he really is. Like, we hold each other accountable. And, you know, we're working on, you know, I'm working on, you know, being more accountable and stuff like that. And I'm sure he is as well. But we definitely keep each other in check. It was funny, too, because, like, I sent some voice clips earlier, and I was complaining about, oh crap, I have to go reserve my spot to go get this game tonight, but I scheduled the live for 7 o'clock. What am I gonna do? And he was just like, didn't your guys yesterday tell you to just not overcomplicate things, to not overthink things? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm just gonna move it back to 9 o'clock. So, you know, it is what it is. All right, Basuki. All right. What have we got going on? Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Leo Rising. So interesting, the sun was on your moon. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what we got going on. What degree is your rising, by the way? Because that would determine if this full moon was in, I'm going to assume it was in your 10th house. So, wait, 10th house. No, wait, I got that wrong. Excuse me. Leo rising. No. Because your 10th house, I know, is Aries, but I guess it would also depend on, it's 13 degrees. Okay, 13 degrees. Yeah. Leo rising 13 degrees. So I guess if you're doing what, the equal house, then Leo rising, I'll put the 10th house. So I guess technically, yeah, it would be the 10th house. So rising is first house. I know, I'm messing everything up in my head. I was trying to figure out where the, full moon. Golly. Full moon in Taurus, though. Yeah. Well, we could talk about how essentially the sun was on your moon during the full moon in Taurus. So that's a huge thing. Taurus 10th house, yeah. So because I know your midhaven, it starts in Aries, but it ends in Taurus. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting energy, because it almost gives me the sense that when it comes to initiating projects, when it comes to what you want to do, like career-wise, that you will get super excited about it. But then once you hit the Taurus energy, it slows down and then it doesn't excite you anymore. And then you move on to the next project. I kind of have a little bit of that myself, because mine goes from, well, my 10th house cusp is, it starts in Virgo. But there is this sort of energy, with Aries, being on that 10th house cusp, but then this full moon was still in your 10th house based off of, where it was and everything. You definitely probably would like to start projects and you have this fiery passion, you're ready to go. But then when it comes down to the Taurus energy and solidifying things, sometimes that fire just kind of burns out. And then you want to either start over, you don't see things through to the end. But if you can see something through to the end and establish something, then it will last a lifetime. That's the thing about Taurus, because it is very solid. It is a very solid sign. So, and your midheaven sextiles your Saturn. Yeah. So it's not like opportunities don't open up for you as far as career and your purpose and moving things forward in your future. But you can allow. And I think with the Taurus energy, this is about also, we got to remember, Taurus energy, it is about sort of these pleasures, like these physical pleasures and stuff like that. So you may give in to certain pleasures of yours, maybe even vices that may kind of begin to take away some of the energy from that passion to really move some of these projects forward. Because a lot of times people like to think that vices are Scorpio, which I guess they can be, but it's flip side of Scorpio's Taurus, they're one of the same. I have made 6,000 unfinished songs last 8 years. Dude, you know how many unfinished novels I have? So I'm right there with you. And I think that's the thing about creative people. I think it's people, when they see a creative person, whether they're making a song, whether they're writing a book, whether they're doing whatever, doing a painting. I have several unfinished paintings over here. I think when it comes to creative people, it's they see the finished product, but then they don't see all of the, I'm not going to call them failed projects, even though I just said it, but they don't see all of the other steps, all of these other little mini projects that may have not necessarily fully manifested, but they don't see all of these other aspects that lead up to that finished polished product. They just see the finished polished product. They don't see the many takes. They don't see take 1, take 2, take 3. Okay, I reduced the porn consumption. At least you're being honest about it, right? And this was, hey, Sun was in Scorpio, Sun was on your moon, so I mean, shoot. Cards didn't want to go together just now. Come on now, let's get that going. All right, let me get these cards out. So I know we've been talking and stuff like that, and you're really, let me kind of scroll through let me scroll back through the comments and stuff. I'm ready for the beating. Let's see. I feel like there was something up here that you said that was important. I want to tap into spiritual leadership, but it feels too much. Let's focus on that. I want to tap into spiritual leadership, but it feels too much. I think a lot of us are being, a lot of these codes that are coming up through us now with all of this cosmic energy, I think we do feel like, we're being told you are a spiritual leader. You are, the king or queen of your own universe. And it does seem like a big responsibility. So it's and we're remembering that. And it's kind of almost hard to feel how can I be a leader in a world where there's so many people and there's so many leaders, whatever like that. But being a leader doesn't necessarily mean that you have to lead 5,000 people or 1 million people. It could just be, it could just be really you. It could be you and your family. It can be you and, the classroom that you teach or whatever like that. It doesn't have to be some big magnanimous thing. I think a lot of times when we think of a leader, we think of someone who's the head of an army of 5,000 soldiers, something like that. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm so skilled to yeah, it's like I'm so skilled in step A to B that I repeat it infinitely, hoping I get a lucky strike and get to get to C. So it's like you get to, you get to first base and second base. When it comes to getting to third base, it's a little difficult. You feel like you always are getting out or something like that when you get to third base. So we gotta give Vasuki to third base, guys. We gotta give him to third base. Let's get him to third base. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. I know your guys are going to come through pretty heavy too, so this is going to be fun. Okay, so the first card that we got, based off of that new moon that we had earlier in the year, may the force be with you. We actually have the star card. So this is literal Star Wars going on right now with you, dude. And you're an Aquarius too. So we have the star card. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Seven of Swords. But look at that, dude. We got the Emperor. Look at that. We got the Emperor as well. So the star card, with that new moon, new moons, of course, are about beginnings and all this sort of stuff. That, let's see, if I remember correctly, that new moon that we had in Taurus was what, 14 degrees. So yes, it was, it's still your 10th house. So there is definitely, which of course, 10th house dealing with these higher, we're dealing with like these intergalactic governments and stuff like that on a rather, well, you're more conscious of it, whatever like that, but a lot of it is subconscious. But there is like these Star Wars that are kind of kicking off and stuff like that, or maybe you're feeling these Star Wars that are kicking off. But the star card is also talking about, these gifts. It's talking about giving to yourself too. I think the thing about Aquarius is that they are so focused on giving to this world that they oftentimes will find themselves in, I want to say, codependent situations, not necessarily relationships, but codependent situations, because Aquarius, they really are a giving bunch or whatever like that. They are rebellious and they want progress, but then they themselves don't necessarily want the progress. You guys have all the information and knowledge, and you don't have an issue telling everyone about it, but you don't necessarily want to implement it yourself. But I feel like that is robbing you of where you're supposed to be. But this full moon is a release. So what's actually happening here with these Star Wars that are happening in your life right now, Vasuki, is that you are releasing this tendency to rob yourself of what you truly need and want in your life, and of your you are releasing, because I don't really feel like it's anyone that's doing this to you but you. There could be other people. Honestly, feel the world isn't ready. Who cares if the world is ready? The world wasn't ready for a lot of things. The world wasn't ready for Michael Jackson when he came up, or the Beatles, or Elvis, or Prince, or any of these like people like that. The world wasn't ready for Albert Einstein. The world wasn't ready for all of these people, but they still did things. They still did what they did, and the world shifted because their influence was that powerful and it was that undeniable. So yeah, the world may not be ready for you, but damn it, if you hold it back, you're just gonna frustrate yourself. I think that's what the Seven of Swords is saying, is like, stop frustrating yourself. You're stealing from your own self. I'm my own prison guard. As you said, I do this too, man. I'm right there with you. I do this a lot to myself. But who cares if the world is not ready for you yet? Who cares? Because the world will shift anyways. The world's going to shift anyways. But if that energy is going to be undeniable, and it quite frankly is, you got the Emperor card as the outcome card. This is the card of Aries. This is where your midhaven starts anyways. So it's like, if this is a full moon that is supposed to reestablish. Wait, you're saying I have to actually put in work? Yes. 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 You actually have to put in work. But here's the thing, though. You have so many gifts to give to this world, okay? You have so many gifts to give to this world. What's manifested is not that someone's going to take your ideas or rob you, but what's what's manifested and what's being released is you robbing yourself. Really, that's what's manifesting. But this outcome is that you actually have the power in you to, you know, rule over your life in a sense, and have this sort of like, you know, have this power over your own life, to have, you know, to not really feel like you have to outsource who you are for the betterment of humanity. You can still reserve some for yourself. That's the kind of interesting thing about it, is that like Aries midheaven, it's about, yes, in many ways, like what you do, and it's about like what you're known for, and it can be about service, it can be about business, but with it's Aries, it's about what is really passionate to you. So in Aries midheaven, a lot of times they're going to be, they create some of the most authentic businesses because it's something that they actually truly care about. It's something that they actually truly care about. Not saying that other midheavens don't create businesses and stuff like that that they don't care about, but Aries, especially midheaven, you create things that you really care about. And because of that, and especially with you having Taurus energy in your 10th house anyways, it helps you to create a very, 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 very solid foundation. I have a fear that if I execute, I will become too successful. Who cares? You gotta do something with that success too, though. Like, yeah, that's the other thing. Success, first of all, it's the first thing that came to mind with success is arbitrary, which is just an interesting sentiment to come up, that say that success is arbitrary. You know, I think success is in and of itself, having the $1 million or $1 billion itself is arbitrary in a sense. What you do with it's important. So what are you going to do when you achieve that success? What are you going to do when you become that billionaire? I know you talk about that. What are you going to do with it? You know, you gotta, I mean, if you look at these cards, if I just hold them up, you know, it's interesting because it goes from, you know, the star, it goes from the star to the middle card to the emperor, right? It's kind of interesting too, because it's like he has his back turned towards the star, and he's looking at this emperor, right? He's looking at the emperor with his back turned towards the star, but he's running in the direction of the star. It's interesting too, because it's like the emperor is not focused on him. The person in the star card is not focused on him either. He thinks he's getting away with it, but he's just kind of running around in circles, you know, trying to steal from the emperor. You know, it's like you're throwing yourself in jail when you don't need to. Let's get some of these other cards going on too, because I'm interested to see what the oracle cards have to say. And don't get it twisted too, dude. Like me actually having to put in the work too, I get it. I think I have a bad relationship with the concept of success, so I should actually just rewrite my own mindset. See, that's the thing. Like you very much so are connected with your guides, and they speak to you, and you have this knowledge and this wisdom, and you have what it takes. I think a lot of times you just kind of get in your own way because, you know, we all have our different conditionings and stuff like that. But you know, for you, I do think that, you know, getting into a new environment is really going to help, getting around the right kind of people and stuff like that. And just, you know, yeah, it's about establishing a better mindset. So, you know, finding activities that allow you to clear your mind. I don't know if you like exercise or anything like that, or go running or anything. I think I am Seven Swords, looking at my Leo rising, escaping to the comfort of Aquarius inside my mental prison. I think you explained it perfectly, dude. I'm not telling you anything that you don't really already know yourself. It's just a confirmation back to you, though. But at the very least, it does give you that confirmation. So now it's like, you know, what is the solution? You know, how are you going to move forward? You know, so let's get some other cards though here to continue. We've got these two cards here. I think these oracle cards are going to definitely give you a solution. And I think really they're just wanting, they just want you to act. I think a lot of it also has to do with the Chiron and Aries, and it's going to be, it hasn't quite shifted there yet, but right now just based off of equal, it's in your 9th house. So your belief in yourself is being really challenged right now. So, but Chiron is it has the glyph of a key. So it's about opening new doors. Sometimes we're afraid to open doors because we opened that door before and the boogeyman jumped out at us. But they didn't per se attack us. They just jumped out and scared us. So I think with Chiron there being in Aries, your beliefs have been challenged quite a bit. They've been challenged quite a bit, but it is getting closer to your midhaven. So you probably have been feeling that way over the past several years anyways. You probably have been feeling that way with your beliefs have been challenged and stuff like that. You should tap into my higher self. He's a funny guy. Oh. Wow. Okay. So the first card we have is the heart chakra. The second card that we have is Tantric Journey. What is this about? Have you been like manifesting using porn or something like that? Like, and then we have See the Light. We have See the Light. I'm trying to see how Tantric Journey relates to the Seven of Swords. Because that's the card for the, I mean, they relate just simply because they're the cards that I drew for the full moon. But we have the heart chakra is the new moon. And this heart chakra is definitely giving me these Taurian vibes. Almost like you're having to craft a new heart for yourself. That's kind of what I'm getting at. The frequency of Tantric Journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. I think that what this has to do with is your past relationship. I know you have, a child and stuff like that. I think there's some sort of actually fear to open up to someone. But with the heart chakra card coming up with the star card and with these Star Wars that are going on, you kind of are like Han Solo right now, and you have like a Chewbacca like person, which could be like a guide or something like that. And you're like wandering around the universe doing odd jobs and stuff like that. You have a lot of knowledge because you've been to a lot of places. You've been to a lot of places. I'm talking metaphorically, but I'm probably also talking literally. But it's almost like you've been hurt before, but then it's like there have been potential relationships that can come up that actually would open up this whole new side of you. This person would probably actually inspire you to actually finish and see through your projects, maybe even help you. Maybe someone who's a singer, maybe someone who is a creative such as yourself, but then you have See the Light here. I don't think this person is really going to show up until you acknowledge your own light, you acknowledge on your own wisdom, and you acknowledge your own strength to actually handle the success that you know that you can manifest. Because, success can bring stress. It can bring stress, but you wouldn't even be able to conceive of that level of success if it wasn't already meant to be yours. And I know that sounds cute. I know that sounds like one of those new agey, oh, if you couldn't think of it, it wouldn't be meant to be yours. I know it sounds like that, but I feel like there's definitely someone out there, and they're going to see that your heart is really fresh and new. You're like gallivanting in the stars, and you're about to like step into a bar on some alien planet. Of course you are an alien, but you're about to step into a bar on some planet, and the person who gives you a drink is going to be like this hot bartender alien lady who's going to like just get you, and she's going to see that you've been hurt. She's going to feel into it, but she's going to slip you her number if they even use cell phones on this planet or whatever like that. And you're going to be like, should I even open this door again? You may rob yourself of a potential partner that can really help to open. And Tantric Journey, this isn't just like, this is like deep, like passionate, like serious sex, whatever like that. This isn't, your run-of-the-mill, just random hookup, Tinder hookup, Instagram hookup, whatever like that. This is like some serious deep stuff. This is someone that you really are supposed to connect with. And then you have see the light. So after you find this person, this is going to be over the next 6 months. You'll see, or at least some things will start to open up. This could be a person. This could just be a new version of you that it's almost like you're almost having sex with this new version of you. And then with this new version of you, you actually begin to birth new realities, essentially. And you're going to start to really see the light. You're going to start to see that, oh, I can handle my own success. I can handle this because I am strong. I am so strong. I can handle it. I can. Wait, that makes sense. I got told some time ago I had to recreate some chakra because it was broken. I think this happens a lot. I think the heart chakra is a chakra that it is a very strong chakra, has a very powerful and potent energy, but chakras can break and we do have to fix them. So, I'm getting the sense that maybe your heart chakra was broken, but since the heart chakra appeared as the new moon card in Taurus, your heart actually has been healed, but you're just now realizing it. You're just now realizing that your heart has been healed. You're just now realizing that it almost feels like you have a brand new heart and you're ready to move forward, but you're still kind of living in you're kind of living in this aftermath of this whole thing. You're kind of living in the past of feeling like when you robbed yourself of certain experiences, or when you felt like other people may have robbed you of certain experiences. But now that you have been healed, now that your heart is anew and it's fresh, you're going to start to really see the light. You're going to start to see the light now. So I'm really looking forward to doing your automatic writing because I feel like it's just going to be your higher self channeling through me, just telling you to like do it, man. Actually do the work, man. Dude, you can handle it, man. You can handle it. I promise you, you can handle it. You are a powerful dude. Like you really are. So Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Leo Rising. You have a very, very, very magnetic personality, and you know that you do. I know that you do, but you know that you have a very magnetic personality, and you have a very unique way at looking at the spirituality, and you're nuanced as well, because it's like you allow yourself, even with these fixed energies, you're nuanced to, why did I break my hand? You were holding these swords for too long. How that translates into your actual life, that's something I feel like is going to be up to you to speak to your higher self about. But the reason why your hand broke is because you're holding these swords for too long. It's time for you to drop the swords. It's time for you to drop the swords. There's no need for you to rob from yourself anymore. That's why your hand broke. You're my boy, dude. You're my brother. And I definitely wish you the best. And of course, we're always going to be in contact, stuff like that. But the outcome of this would see the light and the Emperor, will it heal if I take action? Yes. I think, you shouldn't be afraid to actually go see someone about it and get some professional opinion on it, because I think it's like, I do believe that we have the power to heal ourselves, but I also think that we should not discount modern medicine and modern advances, especially when it comes to repairing like physical damage, like broken bones and stuff like that. We're still weird about like viruses and bacterium because that's like a whole nother thing that we still haven't quite figured out. But when it comes to like broken bones and hand stuff like that, my recommendation would be to seek out a professional, but also to do your own stuff. So the hands, they rule the extremities, and that's sort of like this Gemini like energy. So I would look at your Gemini energy. The moon's in Gemini right now too, so I would look at your Gemini house, see if you have any energy there. But here's the other thing though about it. Like I said, it's like, Gemini in tarot is the Lover's card, and then I have Tantric Journey card here and the Heart Chakra card here. So I feel like maybe another reason why your hand might have broke is because in like some other realm or some other sense, you were still holding hands with your past partner, and you were holding it for such a long time that your hand almost kind of went numb. So it's like you have to kind of let go, because there's someone else out there that wants to hold hands with you, and by holding hands with that person, it's actually going to allow it to heal. But essentially, what I'm feeling is that you've been holding the swords for too long. You've been holding the swords for too long, and you have to let them go. Having a doctor's appointment in 6 hours, there you go. You'll be all right, dude. You have the power. You have what it takes. I really do believe in you. The success, you wouldn't be able to conceive of the success if you were not meant to have it. That's what I truly believe. And if the world's not ready for you, then who the fuck cares, dude? Just do you anyways, because there's no sense in holding that back. I'm just going to check back in the PayPal to see if there was any other stuff on here, just to make sure. Because I know we had Sig, we have Suki, we have the Peace Dealer. Just want to make sure. What time is it? 10:19? Okay, cool. We're good. We're definitely good. So, all right. So it looks like we have one more to go. And I'm going to do these automatic writings. I'm probably going to do these automatic writings tomorrow. Where's the moon's going to be in Cancer? Ooh, you know what I'm going to do actually? Tomorrow, ooh, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do, guys? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do these automatic writings. Oh man, that would be, I would have to do that like in the morning. See, I was thinking about doing the automatic writings when the moon hit the north node. I was thinking about doing that, but then that's going to be 4:23 a.m. November 16th. So maybe I'll do it like at when it's, you know what I'll do it at? I'll do it when it hits 4 degrees. I'll do it when it hits 4 degrees. I think that's good. Yeah, I'll do it when it hits 4 degrees. So I'm going to do the automatic writings tomorrow night, and then I will have those automatic writings out to you potentially tomorrow evening or early Saturday morning. So for those of you who do the $10 version. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we got the Peace Dealer. I really do appreciate you stopping by, dude. And let's see what's going on for you with these cards and stuff. So Gemini Sun, Taurus Rising, Cap Moon, right? Just to make sure. So based off of your rising, I'm assuming this full moon was potentially in your first house. I'm assuming. That's just my assumption. It's 19 degrees, so it's either the first house or the 12th house. So let's get these cards going. Okay. The music went off a little while ago, but that's okay. Okay, that card just wanted to come out. That's interesting. It just flipped over, so I'm like, you know what? Sometimes when the cards do that, you just have to listen. You just have to go with the flow of it. Okay. Gemini Sun, Taurus Rising, Cap Moon. So the moon was, trining your natal moon, which is cool. And then, of course, that Gemini Sun. Pisa, what can I tell you that you don't already know? Well, let's see. It's interesting. This first card that I actually got was the Empress. But just talking about the Taurus rising, and I'm going to, I don't know what degree your rising is, so I'm just going to say that the moon was in your first house. It might be in your 12th house, but I can even talk about both things, you know, because the 12th house and the first house, they're so close to each other. It's naturally, the natural houses are Aries and Pisces, and I almost like to think of any two signs that are next to each other kind of function as like the alpha and omega energy. When it's interesting because with the Taurus rising and the Gemini sun, you do sort of have this sort of alpha and omega energy where it's like they're kind of right next to each other. They're like two ends of a spectrum, but they're kind of right next to each other. So there's definitely, with this full moon, there is this sort of release to how you have been portraying yourself up until this point, but it has a very spiritual nature to it. So obviously, you know, oh dude, I literally just pulled that card like just okay, I had to deal with something just coming back. And dude, I literally just pulled that card like just now. Yeah, dude. We got the Empress card too. So it's like, and this card definitely has these Taurus vibes, right? It's Venus, you know, it's the card of Venus. So it definitely has these Taurus-like vibes. So, you know, for you, someone, you've been in the YouTube community for a while, you've established yourself. I know you made that post recently about showing like your progress over the past 5 years. And there is this sort of turning point to where, you know, what is the next 5 years going to entail? And I think for you, it's a lot of it is about, you know, still utilizing YouTube, but also breaking out of not necessarily your YouTube personality, but also kind of diversifying. And I almost see you like, kind of going around and maybe even, you know, traveling a bit, you know, maybe doing like your own type of touring, kind of like how the Leo King does, but, you know, kind of breaking out and not just, you know, I know you don't just do YouTube and stuff like that. And I know you've been out to like High Vibe Studios and everything, but, you know, I think there's this energy where now it's like you have established yourself, but now it's about then taking that next step. And what does that next step entail? And it's very spiritual in nature, you know. Like I said, I don't know quite where degree your rising is. I know you're a Taurus rising, but I don't know quite what it is. Yeah, divine timing that you came back right at this time. But I think I'm sure that you can detect that, and of course, you've been so like active with like the, you know, the rituals and everything like that, and you really have shown people 27 degrees AC conjunct. Oh, there we go. Okay. Ooh, 27, 2 plus 7, 9. Oh, that's a very active energy right there. That's cool. So this full moon was in your 12th house after all. It's interesting. So your first house sun, and then this full moon was in your 12th house. There definitely, once again, it's like this full moon being in Taurus, I call it an earth shake, not an earthquake. If you know, you know. But this earth shake being in your 12th house is more like a spirit shake. So it kind of like shook your spirit in a sense at a deep level. Because a lot of times people like to think that Taurus is very, you know, it can be kind of a slow moving sign. And even though full moons are impactful and powerful, with this one happening in Taurus, it's like an earthquake from like deep in the Earth's core. So and what I love about this card anyways, like you can see like the radiant color. She's sitting on like this, she has like roses on her. She has like this red like blanket behind her. There's like the orange golden hues behind her head and stuff. So this is definitely something that's coming from the core. But, you know, seeing that your sun is in Gemini too, and then you have your Mercury here, you are kind of going through this period where it's like you're kind of going over the past 5 years, and it's like this review. I know you're going through your Saturn return right now, and you're like, okay, what is the next 5 years? You know, I know you're establishing like your LLC with Mystical Illuminations. You know, you're still the peace dealer and everything, but it's like, what am I going to do now? Like, I feel like you almost feel like if you look back, you know, if you look back, you know, maybe 5 years from now, if you look back at this time, and you're going to sort of be like, if you're kind of doing, if you're doing exactly what you're doing right now, but you still have great success, but you look back on it, you may almost feel a little disappointed that you didn't do more. That's why I'm saying like you're probably going to start to explore outside of YouTube. Not that you're going to stop doing YouTube, but you're going to start to explore, you know, how can I take this to the next level? Like I said, almost sort of like the Leo King, as far as like, you know, traveling and like actually going to places. I can easily see you being a stand-up comedian though, like, and like injecting the astrology in there. And the good thing about you two is that you're a Gemini, so I feel like I want to do comedy, and I want to even inject astrology into it, but I feel like I'd be okay at it, but I feel like you would be like really good at it because you'd be able to do it in a way where you can actually really like, you could definitely, not that I can't connect to the average person or whatever like that doesn't know anything about it, but Geminis have a way of connecting, you know, and I don't even have Gemini energy, but I feel like you could do that. I could definitely see you like touring around, whether you know, whether you do it like in the next year or two, what about that? But I can definitely see you. You may not even do it in the next 5 years, but maybe like when you hit like your late 30s or your 40s, you decide to, you know, do like some comedy. You start traveling around, what about that? You start talking about, you know, all of the misadventures and all of the crazy stuff that happened to you during your 20s and your 30s in the spiritual community and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like that would just give you so much content because I just hearing your story about how, you know, yeah, I know you were in El Paso and you were in Kansas and how you got to California and now you're in Vegas and all this sort of stuff. I know you have a lot of stories to tell, but that would really, interesting enough, probably connect with more people, especially by then, especially by the time that you're in your 30s, in your 40s, and the spiritual awakening really starts to come up. As Pluto goes into Aquarius, as Neptune goes into Aries, as Uranus goes into Gemini, it's going to be a lot more relatable, and you're going to be able to relate to a lot more people. But you're going to be able to do it in a way it's super impactful, and it definitely gets to the core of things, but it's also in a light and fun way. Because that's what I love about Gemini, is that you're able to deliver the energy in a light and fun way. Of course, your Cat Moon's probably coming in, and it's probably like, this is a drag, kind of like Shikamaru. Like Cap Moon is kind of like Shikamaru because like he ended up being everything was such a drag for Shikamaru, right? Naruto, everything was such a drag for him. You know, it's such a drag. He ended up being one of like the top ninjas in like in the community, and he ended up having some of the most responsibilities in the community when he got older, and it's still a drag for him. And that's kind of what your moon, that's what kind of what your Cat Moon is like. It's like, this is such a drag. Like, why do I gotta do this? Like, I'm getting Shikamaru vibes almost. It's kind of interesting. But that first card, like I said, we got the Empress card. The second card that we have the Ace of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands as the second card. And then for the third card, we have the Five of Swords. We have the Five of Swords. So people are going to be throwing shade at you. I don't think this is not new news to you, because it's like you're so much in your power and in your connection. And now that you are manifesting with this new wand, it's like you're being, and I see like you as the wand. I don't see as like you actually having a staff. You know, I see that you are actually like God's wand. And it's like, you know, you are this conduit, you're like this vessel, and this magic energy comes through you. Like you are the wand. But people have been throwing mad shade at you. They've been throwing mad shade at you. But you know, these are gonna be the same people that come to like one of your shows 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever, if you're doing comedy or if you're just doing astrology stuff, and they're gonna be like, yo, man, it's so true. This what he's saying is so true. These same people, it's like that scene in The Incredibles, right? You remember that scene in The Incredibles? Oh crap, it was the first one where it was like these two people, it's like these two gentlemen were like ragging on, I think, Mr. Incredible or something like that in the beginning, because he was like getting into trouble even though he was saving the town. But then years down the road, he's saving the world, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at Mr. Incredible. He's doing all these things just like the old school. But before, when they were in the old school, they were ragging on him because you know, yeah, maybe a building got crushed or something like that, but he saved y'all's ass. That's what you're going through right now. So people 5-10 years from now, they're going to be like, yo, you remember when the peace dealer was doing like all those rituals and stuff like that? He was really holding it down for us, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Some of these people, they're going to be saying that then. They're going to be saying that then, but these are the same people that right now are throwing mad shade at you. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know, it's a jealousy. I think, and I'm going to just be a little real here too. I think there is a stigma within the spiritual community. It's starting to be shifted now, but I think when you talk to someone on the street and they ask you, oh, what do you do for a living? Or what do you do? It's like, oh, I do astrology and I read cards for people and I'm a spiritual, you know, I help people spiritually and stuff like that. When they see, and I really don't want to bring race into it, but I'm going to bring race into it. They don't see a young black male. They don't see a young black male doing astrology or pulling cards. They see probably an older white lady in like her 50s or 60s or 70s doing it. They don't see a young black male. They don't see it. You know, it throws them off. We're either, and you rap too, but they either see athlete, rapper, or something else. But they don't see astrologer. They don't see tarot reader. They don't see these things. So yes, you have the power. You are the power. I really wouldn't worry about these people throwing shade at you. And I already know you're not worried about it. I already know that you're not worried about it. I'm pretty much telling you stuff that you already know, but I think it's interesting how you drew the Empress card earlier. But like I said, I do feel like, you know, outside of these people throwing shade at you, right now it's time for you to focus on what is that next step. He's like, you know, YouTube for you has been successful. I think, yeah, I definitely could see you growing it to 50,000, 100,000 people, whatever like that. But I almost feel like for you, it's like, it's not even really about that. I think for you, it's about, you know, how do I take this on the road almost? Where do I go from here? How do I, you know, grow this? How do I connect with more people? The next 5 years, you know, I could definitely see you, or maybe in the next 6 months, I could see you going like out of the country, maybe doing like some sort of, I don't know, ayahuasca trip or something like that, or you know, doing something like that, going on some sort of like a spiritual vacay, whatever like that. But it's about, you know, how YouTube has been successful, but how to take it to that next step, you know. So you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. I really do appreciate it. We still got the Oracle cards too, so I'm excited to see what that is, what's going on with that. Yeah, the shade is real, stuff like that. And I mean, I probably don't really feel it on the same level as you. I feel like I get a lot of it through my dream world, though. It's kind of weird in my dream state. But yeah, the Peace to the Comedy Show, I'm sure it's coming. So I mean, it's already like there. Like you're an awesome dude. You are certainly a pillar in this community. But you know, when you are a pillar, when you are this key figure, you know, these things are going to happen. People are going to cast stones, but you know, you're strong enough and you're powerful enough to where it bounces off of you. You know, you're probably more vulnerable than you let on. Maybe it actually affects you more than you let on to other people. And it's okay, actually. It's okay to feel vulnerable, but at the same time, it's like, you know, get back up and realize that, you know what, I'm on my purpose. I'm living my best life, as they would say, and to don't really sweat the small stuff, because there are bigger fish to fry. There's bigger fish to fry. We are going into guild wars. We are going to these galactic Star Wars, and these next 5 years are about to be intense, but also very beautiful, because it's going to open up for all of us so many great opportunities to connect with other people as we prepare for the 2020s, as we prepare for Pluto going into Aquarius, and we have a lot of planets shifting, guys. I don't know if you guys realize it, but it's like we do have Uranus that just went into Taurus. We do have Chiron that just went into Aries, but we have a lot of planets that are shifting. We have Pluto that's going to go into Aquarius in a few short years. I say a few short years because it really is going to come like that. We have Neptune that's going to be going into Aries. We have a lot of these outer planets shifting, and this is a massive freaking deal. This is a huge freaking deal. So like, you know, hang in there, because like people like me, people like Vasuki, people like Sig, people, you know, we notice, you know, your followers notice, the masses may not notice, some people in your family may not notice, but you know, I know that it's coming, it's catching up, and there's going to be a basic understanding of the subtle realms that everyone's going to come into over the next 5 years. And that's why we need people like you to help guide them, and to also to kind of help take a bit of that edge off, because you're doing the work. You're doing the work. So let's see what we have for the oracle cards. All right. All right. So I'm just going to draw them all and see what's going on. We have the card of universal love. Oh, isn't that sweet? We have the card of universal love. We have the card of empowerment. I love that. I love how these cards actually match up with the tarot card. Then we actually have the card of compassion. So the universal love card matches up with the Empress. And I think this is actually really cool. I love this because the Empress, she is connected to the earth. She is connected to Gaia. She is connected to her soil. She is connected to her seed. And this universal love, it really is speaking about how you can go out and the tree gives fruit indiscriminately. It doesn't care who you are. It gives fruit indiscriminately. The tree does. It doesn't care who you are, what you've done, what your past is, what your future is. It just gives indiscriminately. And that's kind of what the Empress with the universal love card represents. That was the new moon. So for the full moon that just happened, we have Ace of Wands and empowerment. So you're feeling more empowered than ever right now, to move forward. Because you feel that universal love. You've been doing the work. I think it's very apparent that you've been doing the work, but you've been doing the work and the universe recognizes it. So you're feeling so empowered to move forward. You're getting inspirations, new ideas and stuff like that for different songs, for different collaborations. I'm sure you have a lot of different creative projects in the work, but there's such a level of empowerment right now where this shit doesn't even matter. Got the compassion card though. So even though those people are throwing shade, you can still have compassion for them. You can still hold space for them. You can keep your distance if you need to and stuff like that. Remember having the right boundaries, because Scorpio is about holding these the right boundaries. But then you have that card of compassion. Even though people may be throwing shade at you, you can have compassion for them, and showing compassion for yourself by setting the right boundaries and, you know, organizing your life in a way to where it's like all of this jibber jabber outside, it doesn't affect what's on the inside. It doesn't affect your spirit and your soul. It doesn't affect it, right? And and I think, you know, maybe even some of that jibber jabber, you know, I don't think all of it is inherently, I think probably most of it is just shade. I think some of it is actually constructive critique, but then there's an aspect of you that doesn't necessarily want to take the constructive critique. That could be some of that stubborn Taurus energy, or maybe even the Cap energy and stuff like that. Maybe your Gemini sun's kind of curious about it, but there could be some people that maybe give you some constructive critique, and it's like you kind of want to take it. You don't know if you should take it. You may be thinking that shade, but it's, you never know. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know how to articulate it, and maybe coming across as shade. But I think the fact remains is that, you know, you have a lot of people that support you. And what's most important is that you continue to support yourself through this process. I think that's what's most important. It's obvious the effect that you have on people. You've inspired me, definitely, for sure. Like you're definitely someone who like really inspires me. And so I'm just really grateful and honored that you would even come on and join my live. But you know, keep doing what you're doing. But there's also the sense with the Ace of Wands and that empowerment card, like I said, where it's like, I think, you know, keep spreading the message of that universal love. But, you know, there is this sort of shift where it's like, okay, you know, some new actions, you know, how am I going to move forward? What am I going to do different? How am I going to innovate this? You know, I think still keep doing what you're doing, but now it's like you're going to be like, okay, what are these next 5 years? What am I going to do differently? How am I going to alter this? You know, YouTube has been great. I'm going to keep doing it. What can I do? Like maybe even like doing more, I don't know, like, I don't know why cinematic came up, but maybe doing even more cinematic type videos, maybe getting like a video editor and like, you know, almost like changing up your style of videos too. Maybe that'll help your channel to grow and stuff like that. Who knows? You know, I know that you do like a lot of those like when the signs do this, when the signs do that, but maybe even doing more of those, but maybe in a more cinematic way or something like that. I can see that. That'd be really freaking cool. Hit me up if you do that. But you're very welcome, Mike. You're very, very welcome. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I think that just about does it. I don't think there was, let me just check to see if anyone else donated, but I think that's actually it. If it's not, then I will go back and I will look at it. But I think that's it actually. To those who purchased, thank you so much. And I will do your automatic writings in the next 24 hours and I'll send those out to you. I know I have some of you guys on Instagram. Sig, I don't know if I have your email. Like I said, if you guys leave like your email in the comments, and I'll get back to you for sure, and I'll send you that automatic reading, which will probably also include like a card as well with this. So I'm gonna draw one more card to end this as well. So, and I'm gonna draw from the Answer is Simple Oracle. So. And I think the moon is still at 22 degrees. It might be at 23 degrees now. Where's the moon at? Yeah, moon right now is actually at 23 degrees of Gemini. So, but yes. And I guess the next major transit as far as stuff happening, besides the moon conjuncting and making aspects, is Mars, which is going to be moving into Scorpio shortly. We also have, Mercury's coming direct soon. Yes. This Mercury retrograde wasn't that crazy, actually. Clock is 4:44 my time. Perfect ending. There you go. There you go. In about an hour and 15 minutes, I'm going to have my copy of Pokemon Sword. I am super freaking excited. I really am. About to go on another Pokemon adventure. Who knows how late I'm going to stay up. But anyways, let me get one more card and then I'm going to get out of here. But I hope that you all enjoyed this. Hope that you all got some type of whatever you needed out of this. But I really do thank you so much for this. I will most certainly be doing these again in the future. Like I said, probably for the full moons, I will do these. And then maybe, you know, any other time where I just kind of feel like coming on and doing readings for people. But also be sure to tune in tomorrow because I am still going to be doing the podcast. So I did a podcast earlier this week, episode 7. You should go check it out because your boy Basuki was on there and we had a blast of a time. So go check that out if you haven't already. But episode 8 of the podcast will be coming out tomorrow. I'm probably just going to record it. I don't think I'm going to do it live, but be on the lookout for that. You're very, very welcome. Oh, a card just flipped out. I love it when cards just fly out. Oh, so this reading was brought to you and sponsored by Vasuki because See the Light came out. It was brought to you and it was brought to you by Astro Phoenix, sponsored by Vasuki apparently because See the Light just popped right on now. Let's get one more card. Oh, we have Celebrate You. You know what's cool about this, guys? You know what's cool about this? The Celebrate You card, it has the number 6, and the See the Light card is the number 33, which reduces to 6. Celebrate your light. Celebrate who you are. Celebrate good times. Come on. Da, 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 celebrate. Yeah. Celebrate good times. Come on. Da, 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 da. Anyways, you guys get the message. You guys get it. See the light. Celebrate you because you are worth celebrating. You're worth celebrating. You are worth celebrating. Ooh, I love you guys so much. How about we actually one more? I want you to draw one more card actually for you guys, just because I can. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a Pokemon card because I can. I have some Pokemon cards here, and I'm going to draw a card from the Pokemon cards, and I'm going to channel based off of the card that I pull. How about that? I'm on a channel based off of the card that I pull. Let's see what I get. This will be kind of interesting. These cards are so small. It's interesting trying to shuffle these. Let's see what Pokemon I get. This will be fun. I do eventually want to have a tarot deck created where I use Pokemon, but I don't want to get like sued or anything like that. But I think I should be able to be okay. I think it depends on the way I do it. I think it's like I have to definitely like not copy like, you know, the official divines, but have someone draw them in like a new fresh way. Yeah, this is definitely some Mercury retrograde and Scorpio type thing. Let me draw a Pokemon card to see what's going on here. You know, this is what makes it unique though and refreshing. So let's see what we got. Really? It's kind of interesting. You know what? Actually, I love this. So we have Apom. I don't know if any of you guys really know this guy. Hopefully it clears up a little bit. It's gonna clear. Come on. It's still kind of blurry. Anyways, okay, there you go. Apom. Isn't he happy? Look how happy he is. Astrology monsters, right? Look how happy he is. This purple monkey. He's known as the long tail Pokemon. Oh my goodness, guys. Guess what number he's in the Pokédex? He's 190. And the full moon was at 19 degrees. The full moon in Taurus was at 19 degrees, and he's number 190 in the Pokédex. I don't think you can make this up. As it did more and more with its tail, its hands became clumsy. It makes its nest high in the treetops. Interesting. So what does that even mean? Have fun with life. There's also this Kundalini rising. He uses his tail to grab things, and the tail is an extension of the spine. And of course, our Kundalini is along our spine. So there's definitely this Kundalini rising. But with the tail aspect, it's like there's this sort of grounding aspect where it's like we're like grabbing onto things and stuff. But really, just to kind of keep it basic, have fun with life. Celebrate you. This is not a super serious Pokemon. He's kind of a jokester. He likes to have fun. Yeah, I love these synchronicities too. This stream started 119 minutes. Wow. But I just think that it's crazy how 19 keeps coming up. And it came up again with this card, this cute purple monkey that grabs things with its tail that happens to be number 190 in the Pokédex. He likes to have fun. In the anime, he was a bit of a jokester. He kept stealing Ash's hat. Like, this is like, it's like, there's this energy where it's like, yes, we have like this great calling and this great mission, and it's serious, but why so serious? You know, we're supposed to have fun with it. You know, we're supposed to have fun with it. Yes, there'll be challenges. Yes, we'll overcome. Yes, we'll fall down. Yes, we'll wonder, you know, why me? Why me? But like Apom's like, yo, just chill, man. Just like, you know, just chill. Just chill in the treetops, yo. Swing around, have fun, be you. It's okay. Be free. Express yourself. Celebrate you. See the lights. I think there's not really much else I can say. So, anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. I believe that this was a resounding success, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. You all have a lovely evening, and as always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often. Peace out, y'all. I'm about to go play some Pokemon.